So football season's back, and like, I would be happier, but the season opener for the Ravens versus Bills, while very exciting, we lost. In a very, very close game. That was supposed to be our revenge. Oh, well, at least we got Monday Night Raw on Netflix. Hey, what's going on, YouTube? It is Kai the Casual back again with Kai's Top 5. Let's get straight into it. But of course, I have one honorable mention on this show, and that would be Rusev and Penta having a very quick banger. So it wasn't a very long match, but this was actually a wrestling heavy show. Plenty of drama still and story building going on, but I liked that Penta seems to be building his case for a title shot of some sort. Maybe the IC belt or maybe a world championship, who knows. He approaches Adam Pearce and says, the people believe in Penta. They like Penta. Why don't you? And Pearce is confused. He's like, what do you mean? He goes, it's time for a title shot. Rusev interrupts, saying that Adam, like, you're not following the design. The design is Rusev comes back, beats people up, gets a title shot. These two clash heads because of this. They have a match, and Rusev wins. It was a quick match, but I think it was actually pretty entertaining. I don't know. So maybe this is something building to something. Maybe it'll be a best out of 3. Maybe best out of 3 gets an IC or world title shot. Who knows? But I like to see it. It was fun. So let's move on. So getting to the main list, my number 5 slot for the week. There was a very well-worked match between Lyra Valkyria and Raquel Rodriguez. Of course, with assistance from Roxanne Perez. And that led to Raquel getting the win with the Tejana Bomb. Later in the night, the Judgment Day celebrates the win and preps Roxanne for next week because she'll be facing Lyra next. Dom joins the group later, and Finn accuses him of plotting with El Grande Americano once again, and Dom defends himself. He says, you know, hey, it's a lucha thing, and if you guys didn't get banned last week, I'm gonna need your help. And so yeah, Dom is prepping for his AAA Mega title match this Friday. Maybe I should do predictions to that, by the way. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Probably won't be able to review the entire show, but we'll at least do predictions, I think. We'll see what happens later on in the week. But anyway, yeah, so after this, yeah, Dom storms off, but Roxanne Perez follows him. Are we leading to the possible Dirty Dom's being a dirty cheater again with Roxanne Perez on Liv Morgan? Who knows? But Liv Morgan is still out. We might not get an answer to that for a while. So, but anyway, going to our number 4 slot of the week, we have, once again, ladies action. So, Nikki Bella is still kind of on a task to prove that she can hang out with the new division, right? The newbies of the ladies division. Newbies in quotations. She's, the veteran coming back out of retirement to say, hey, I can still hang, right? That's been the story with her. So she already has a loss against Becky Lynch for that IC title. So now she's back on Raw trying to get it going. And so she ends up challenging Asuka for a match. And you all know, if you don't know already, then let me inform you that I am a big Asuka fan. Asuka previously in the night, the whole thing gets started because Asuka's still on her jealous best friend routine with Io Sky, and so Nikki is talking to Io, and of course here comes Asuka and Kairi, and same routine. She tells Nikki to shoo or whatever, and Nikki's like, you don't have to like me, but you have to respect me. And of course, this leads to a match, which I did find entertaining. Some people are going to question Nikki Bella's in-ring ability. She's doing fine. And if nothing else, you have to respect that she's putting over, you know, some of the people that came, you know, while she was there. And, you know, some of the people that, you know, actually, I think Asuka and Becky were there when she was there. But whatever. They were newer after she, you know, had her big, you know, reign of dominance. So, all the same, though, it was an entertaining match. But there was one little thing. So, obviously, we know that we're getting, like, a jealous, toxic best friend, Asuka, here. But she does something else that's leaning more on the heelish side. You know, obviously, this is a match between two baby faces, and people want to see Irie kick butt, right? But there's a moment where Nikki chases Asuka to the outside, and she blocks Bella by grabbing Kyrie, putting her in front of her, and then snaps a head kick on Nikki Bella. Anyway, she hits Empress Impact and hits the Asuka lock for the win. That's all, folks. After this, we get another backstage moment between them where Nikki is, you know, still fired up about the loss. And Asuka's, you know, being all braggadocious and getting bothering her. And here comes Mommy. Rhea Ripley walks up, asking, "Do we have a problem?" Try to deepen my voice to sound like her, but yeah, that was probably a fail. Anyway, maybe we'll see some tag team action with a reluctant Kyrie. And oh my gosh, the hilarity. I think it happened twice tonight of just anytime Asuka just stays around to kind of like just be apologetic. Asuka does her, you know, deep Japanese accent, Kyrie! and it's fun. It's like, it started off by like having her call her like in a cutesy way, like, Kyrie! And then it was like, Kyrie! So yeah, I love Asuka. Empress of Tomorrow. If this does turn into a full-on heel turn, then we just need to see Monster Asuka back. Just go on a crazy undefeated streak. Rack up some titles. Get them. Just take them all. I don't care. We'll see what this means for the future with Nikki Bella, Rhea, and maybe even Io. But anyway. So moving on, my number 3 slot for this week goes to AJ Styles winning over El Grande Americano after a hard-fought match, and of course dealing with the other El Grande Americanos. Did both of them show up or just one? I can't remember, sorry. But yeah, the weird part about this, and I guess this is the issue with Netflix right now, is if you don't have commercial free, which currently I don't, I'm probably gonna have to get it for these reviews, but you can see this exclusive moment on YouTube. But AJ Styles kind of does a little work shoot promo where he's talking about somebody in the back that doesn't want him to win or succeed or something to that effect. Yeah, but anyway, I don't know. Am I the only one that's kind of getting tired of the work shoot stuff going on here? I don't know, because like I think it's pretty clear at this point that Karrion Kross is actually gone from the company, and people are still like, no, it's a work, it's a work. I don't know, it doesn't. I think it seems pretty legit at this point. I think he's gone, so. Which is weird, because WWE is still showing his Good Soldier shirt on WWE Shop. It's kind of weird. Love you, WWE, it's a bit weird. Anywho, but of course, this is just another great AJ Styles match. But I have to give it out to the dude under the El Grande Americano mask, Ludwig Kaiser. This gimmick was already kind of interesting, but this dude with his in-ring ability, with his talking ability, he's just elevated this, and I'm excited to see what happens with it, honestly. But anyway, all right, the moment you've all been waiting for. AJ Lee returned, of course, skipping out wearing the Women's Intercontinental Championship belt. And, oh man, you gotta love some AJ, man. one thing I love about this, because she talked about how she, while she was gone, she went on a mental health journey, which I think some of us, if not all of us, can kind of relate to in a bit. She put over going to therapy, and then the crowd shouts out. They start cheering, "Therapy, therapy, therapy!" I just love it. If you need it, get into some therapy. I am myself soon later this month. But yeah, it was really nice that she spoke about that. And she says, but you know what she says? She didn't use the word crazy. I think it was probably smart. Some people are sensitive about the word crazy nowadays when we're talking about mental health. But she did say, I mostly have good days. But I started to have a bigger day when I started to see Becky put her hands on my husband. I can see him face Seth Rollins and all these other people. But seeing her, that made me sick. And so that's why she did what she did, of course. Out comes Becky, of course. And then out comes Seth. And then, of course, out comes Punk. And, of course, this all ends up in a GTS attempt that fails. But in all the commotion, we get it booked, baby. The return of AJ teaming with CMPunk versus the Vision team of Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins at WrestlePalooza on ESPN. I'll plug it a little bit. I already have the ESPN Plus app, so I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about the transition from Peacock to ESPN. I'm sure we're not going to be too thrilled about it, but anyway, let's get back to happiness with our number one pick of the week. And of course, I'm going to combine a couple of moments as the number one. When this happens, I'm probably gonna do this as a combined entry from here on out. But the opening promo from the Usos are back together. I love it. And let me just say this. Anybody who's been complaining about Jey's mic work, which, again, I think he's been doing fine enough. But me personally, right, I like both Usos for different reasons. But if we're talking about just promo ability, I've always liked Jimmy a bit better. Jey can do it, but I like the styling of Jimmy better. So seeing them together, just chef's kiss. The Usos are back. I love the charisma together. It is perfect. Anyway, I'm running my mouth too much. I need to drink some water. So remind me, folks, to drink water in the comments. Anyway, this, of course, leads to Division coming out. Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. And we just get great smack talk, from the Usos, against them. And this leads up to them getting booked for WrestlePalooza as well. But we get a brawl, of course, because LA Knight shows up behind the Brawns, and he gets into a fight with them, and then the Usos assist him. What ends up happening though is there's a moment in this brawl where Bronson Reed is charging towards LA Knight, who dips out of the way, and almost, or no, sorry, I'm misunderstanding that. Bronson Reed sends LA Knight into Jey, and he stops himself before he hits Jey in the corner. But Jey seems to take issue with this, and he's all out of sorts. And yeah, Jimmy still deals with Bronson, kicks him out of the ring, but LA Knight, the beef between him and Jey is still building up. This has been rolling up since before Clash in Paris, and Roman telling Jey to worry about himself, worry about getting that title, and yeah, don't worry about helping anybody else. Anyway, this leads into a backstage moment behind the scenes, and of course a main event booked between LA Knight and Bronson Reed later on. But Jimmy is talking to Jey like, hey man, like, you know, we on for this main event, right? We're gonna have LA Knight's back. And he's like, nah, we need to worry about this match at WrestlePalooza, and we need to worry about getting my World Heavyweight Championship back. Jimmy looks at him, he says, you don't sound like yourself, Uso. You sound more like Roman. And Jey responds before leaving, well, maybe being myself isn't working. Anyway, we get the main event, of course, with LA Knight. After Jimmy tries to talk to LA Knight and to say, hey, you know, I'll help you out. And he doesn't trust him. He doesn't want his help. He even brings up prior history saying, like, you know, you're the reason why I haven't gotten a title, world title yet. Which is true, yeah. So I like the fact that people haven't forgotten the shenanigans with the bloodline, right? You know, and I think that's a great way to tell the story. Anyway, LA Knight has a great entertaining match with Bronson Reed, who of course has to deal with Braun Breaker as well. And the match unfortunately ends with Bronson Reed getting a heel win against LA Knight, hitting Jagged Edge. I'm actually glad he hit Jagged Edge instead of the Tsunami, because Wade Barrett's not on commentary. We have Joe Tessitore and Corey Graves on commentary for a few months. Wade's taking time off, and Joe is not on SmackDown because College Game Day is about to start. So yeah, or college coverage in general. I think College Game Day might be Pat McAfee's thing, but anyway, all the same, I'm glad the match ended like this. It's telling a good story, and it also gives Bronson Reed to get a good heel win against LA Knight. I'm glad that we're starting to work on building up Bronson Reed as well as Braun Breaker, you know, because they keep selling Braun Breaker, but, you know, I think they kind of, you know, they needed time to sell up the tribal thief of Bronson Reed. But of course, this leads into a post-match beatdown with Jimmy coming out to the rescue despite what LA Knight said. And it's not enough. But out comes Jey, who we thought left the building. And he rescues the both of them. Seemingly, we're all good. LA Knight seems to, you know, he looks at Jey in the corner and says, he's like, we all good? Okay. He goes to Jimmy, and this distracts him. He's stabbing up Jimmy, and he turns around and eats a spear from Jey. So, JeyUso is like leaning into tweener territory, but he's probably going to turn heel. And you know what? I'm not against this. There's a couple of routes I see them going with this, and I'm just excited to see it. I'm here for it. I am usually the guy that's like, hey, we need to book baby faces better instead of turning everybody heel. But I'm really interested to see what they do with this story. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. What happens with Jimmy Uso? Who wins at WrestlePalooza? We'll be doing predictions for that soon. Possibly for Worlds Collide Friday. Let me know if you guys want me to do predictions for that. We probably won't do an R&R video for it though. That'll probably just be my event to enjoy. But anyway, guys, you know what to do. Like, comment, share, subscribe, ring that bell notification, of course. And of course, guys, you know that I love you. Enjoy pro wrestling. And of course, for the love of pro wrestling, keep it casual. See you guys for Dynamite Wednesday.